Hi everyone, I'm back here again, just documenting my blooming journey or my growing journey. I'm sorry if my voice is a bit low. My kids are just the floor below my home office and they're sleeping. It's almost midnight here and I'm trying not to wake them up. They are very light sleepers. Anyways, one thing I'm really focusing on in this season is the practice of, coming home to myself and just, reconnecting with who I am at my core. Um, as there's a saying that says, to thine own self be true. And it sounds really simple. Actually, it sounds really simple, but I'm realizing now that it actually takes a lot of intention to do that, right? And I say that I'm practicing on purpose because if I'm being honest, I've been disconnected for a while now. It's felt like I've just been, moving through life on autopilot, if that makes sense, just checking the boxes that didn't even need to be checked and, just trying to play safe and, being nice and prioritizing everything and everyone else, including things that honestly didn't even deserve my energy, right? And I've been feeling my weaknesses, if I can use that word as well, and just doing and doing and doing, except you know, being present with myself. And at some point, it actually felt first like I was trying really hard to be someone that I'm not. Unintentionally, though, unintentionally, there was a disconnect that I couldn't just, keep ignoring, and I knew that I needed, what's the word? I needed like a reset button. And to be honest, I actually tried. I tried a couple of times, but I think I wasn't committed to staying grounded long enough for for anything to stick. 1 month I'm in, and the next, some sort of distraction sort of creeps in, and my focus shifts again. And it wasn't that I didn't know what to do, right? I just wasn't patient enough to stay with it. And I'm realizing now that, coming back to myself actually needs a lot of commitment. And it's not something that will happen by accident, right? It needs decision, solid decision. It needs repetition, right? And it needs those very small, unglamorous, commitments. And by the way, I'm actually also learning that faithfulness to God does not stop at being prayerful or being obedient. It also includes being faithful to how He made me, how He created me, and I think I touched about it briefly in my last video. Just recognizing when I need rest is also part of it. Letting myself slow down so that my presence can be consistent, can be steady, and not just very intense and then eventually gets short lived, right? Because I'm learning that, God cares more about faithfulness over time, and that, burning myself out and calling it obedience, right, is not it, right? And I'm pretty much just, stewarding myself well in this season. And I think it's part of being faithful to what God has given me, right? The way I care for my mind, the way I care for my body, the way I care for my time, my yeses, my nos. It's not separate from my faith, right? It's actually still connected to it. So this season, I'm choosing different. I'm choosing something different, right? I'm choosing a solid prayer life. Talking. I'm talking to God every day. I'm, just taking my faith journey very seriously this year, and I mean, in the Word every day, every single day of this year. Just reading the Bible, meditating and sitting with everything that pretty much comes with that, right? And I really believe that just staying close to God and just staying close to Him will change everything for good over time, right? I'm also choosing to say no without over explaining myself, right? I'm choosing to make new friends intentionally this year. Friendships that actually have value. Not the surface level ones. Just meaningful connections that add value to my life. And match my energy and just show up with the same care and effort that I give. I'm choosing to read a lot of books this year. You know, there's I have there's this, I use Audible, right? There's always something to read, right? I'm choosing to, care for my body. I'm choosing to eat better. I'm choosing to move my body better. Exercise, right? That exercise part. God help me. Yeah. But we move. Um yeah, so that's it. I'm just choosing to do all of that. I'm also choosing to create again. And when I say create, I don't mean content. I mean, just act on the ideas that God has placed in my heart. Um, I'm taking, practical steps to sort of bring those ideas to life without waiting for approval or permission or worrying about what people will say. And I'm choosing to just protect um, those pockets of silence, right? Because I need somewhere to pour back into myself, and yeah. So yeah, that's those are what I mean. This is what I'm practicing this season. Until these things become like muscle memory. Reminds me of Atomic Habits. Yeah. Anyways, until it becomes muscle memory. So some days I'm motivated and it flows, and some days it doesn't. But I'm choosing to stay, right. I'm choosing to be consistent. I'm choosing to remain committed by the grace of God. Realizing that coming home to myself is not something um that has an end, right. It's something that I have to keep doing over and over again. So yeah, this is what I'm practicing right now. um just coming back to myself. And I don't have everything figured out yet. I really don't. But I'm just staying with it and just staying consistent, and I'm trusting that God will meet me here, in the practice, in the process. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm trusting that He will meet me in the doing, right. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.